Hey YouTube, we're gonna show you guys how to install ESXi without having any CD or USB media. So there's an iDRAC, integrated Dell remote access controller. This controls the server from temperatures to BIOS updates to firmware updates, you name it, and a lot of different types of monitoring tools along with the virtual console. Once we're logged into the iDRAC, you get to see all the batteries, fans, intrusion detection, and this is intrusion for the physical chassis, not an intrusion for the network. Power supplies, flash media for your SD cards for your hypervisors, temperatures, voltages, R810, tells you all the serial, service tag, all the good stuff. Tells you even alerts if you open the chassis. So we're going to actually launch the virtual session, and since Java isn't really installed, I did install it. I actually have to physically launch it myself. Continue. This is my internal IP, so I'm not worried about masking it. I'll accept. Run. Since Java's outdated already, no one really uses it. So here we have the R810, which I'm rebuilding with the VMware ESXi image that is free. So now we're gonna load the image that I have downloaded from Dell. Here we go. Yep, there's OpenStack Pilot there. It's gonna be my next setup for those R710s, but this is what we want, the Dell customized A00 ISO. We open it, and then we want to actually map it, so check it, and then click details. I like to just watch it. So now while I'm minimizing it, we're going to go back to power. And then we're going to do a reset. So now we got the server rebooting. We're going to open the iDRAC and just monitor it. So we should be, once we get into the BIOS, we're going to press F11, I believe. Yes. So we're going to boot into UEFI BIOS. There's the memory, 210 core processors, 128 gigs, 1067, 1.5 volts. That is the solid state drive, that is the virtual drive. Then here you guys will be seeing the drive. It'll be receiving and sending bytes. It never sends, but it'll be receiving from this virtual CD drive, which is the ISO. There's my iDRAC setup. Server will spin up a little bit during this process, but it's not too bad. If you want ESXi to boot up properly, you always want to do UEFI BIOS. Don't ever want to do just standard BIOS. A lot of stuff won't load properly unless you set it up so it does, but I always go into UEFI. And during the process, I'll be fast forwarding through the installation because it's a few minute process, but it's actually overall pretty quick. Not many people show how to do this on YouTube for specific servers, so I'm gonna create the first video. There we go. So now there's a virtual CD drive, so we hit enter, and then you'll see that right over here it is downloading the CD over the network to the iDRAC. And if you go over to the iDRAC, you can see everything's going over 100 megabit Ethernet cable. Well, it's a 100 megabit connection over the Ethernet. It is downloaded from the file server. So, with this process, I'm going to pause the video and then we'll continue when it's already through. So now it's finished. And, oh, oops. That's just the repository manager. I'll make another video sometime around that, how to create yourself an update CD, but so now we're finishing installation. And then we're going to accept. So now we're going to select the hard drive. So that is the Dell PowerEdge R810, and that is the solid state. And we're going to overwrite since I don't want to save any settings. Yep. There we go, password match. There we go. Now we're going to install it.
This is a fairly quick process because once the ESXi is loaded into memory, this is a matter of minutes. There we go, almost finished.
ESXi's footprint, I believe, is around 350 some megabytes, so it's a very small footprint. That's why it's probably the #1, the best of hypervisor out there for any types of attacks toward the hypervisor itself. Hyper-V is pretty intensive. It's fairly good too, but VMware is the #1 leader market in the shares and all that, so. There's also Zen Server, but Zen Server is not as big as VMware, but still up there. There we go, so now it's going to reboot. And when it asks to remove the physical media, it actually removes it itself. So as you can see, it's unchecked, so now I just exit it. And that is pretty much it. So once ESXi loads, server's back up and running. And to actually show you guys how to verify when your host is installed with the Dell, it will look like this. It will say updated Dell ESXi VM. So I already did the 215 without videoing it, so as you guys can see. But yeah, that is overall how to install ESXi via iDRAC. Yeah, like, subscribe, share for the video. Thank you.